double murderer Gary Gilmore finally fulfilled his death wish in front of a firing squad after a nerve-wracking night of waiting in which a judge flew 500 miles at 4 a.m. to overturn a successful appeal. For 5 hours and 20 minutes, Gilmore thought his execution had been postponed for the third time. Only 4 minutes before the appointed moment, 7:49 a.m. sunrise. The warden of Utah State Prison walked into his room and told him that the death penalty would now go ahead. He was strapped to a black upholstered oak chair, with a black hood over his head and a white target over his heart. He faced a canvas cubicle about 8 yards away which had 5 tiny slits, a rifle protruding through each slit. His final words, according to an eyewitness, were, "Let's do it." One of the 4 official witnesses of Gilmore's death, his agent film producer Larry Schiller, gave a detailed description to a press conference in the jail of how the warden handed out cups of coffee as Gilmore was being prepared in the chair. 5 men fired .303 hunting rifles at the white target over his heart, but 1 man had the traditional blank in his gun. Then scores of journalists were given a tour of the site in a corner of the prison, which is set on a salt flat surrounded by towering snow-capped mountains 20 miles south of Salt Lake City. As they inspected the bloodstains, an ambulance was rushing the corpse to hospital for the removal of various organs, which the dead man had willed for transplant. On television, a woman civil liberties activist whose appeal had failed was in tears, and cameramen squabbled and shouted for the best pictures of the bereaved. It was a grotesque ending to a macabre event which veered between the outrageous, the bizarre, and at times a kind of ghastly slapstick. Throughout, it was dominated by the moves and counter-moves of abolitionists. An eccentric elderly judge, prison authorities, and top law officials in Utah, watched by an American media of mind, chilling dedication towards recording the most ghoulish details. Federal Judge Willis Ritter, 77, once attacked by a U.S. senator for his eccentric judgments, put the preparations into limbo by a last-minute stay of execution. At 1:05 a.m., he upheld an appeal that taxpayers' money might be wasted by Utah applying the recent rewritten Utah death penalty law because it lacked a provision for automatic appeal and might be unconstitutional. However, almost exactly the same plea had been overruled earlier by another judge. Gilmore, who had spent 18 of his 36 years in jail, heard of the stay from a live televised account of a press conference given by Warden Sam Smith at 2:20 a.m. He exploded, cursing the judge, aiming punches at the set and repeating that the civil liberties appellants should keep out of my life. At 4 a.m., an executive jet flew the Utah Attorney General and a more senior federal judge to the District Circuit Court in Denver for another hearing. There, the stay of execution was dismissed with only minutes to go before the sunrise execution.